I mean, for a small fee.
You don't need to have any shots.
Any shot.
I mean, I could bring the tequila out and line it up. We'll do some shots.
No shots for you, Nathan. Where do you guys want to sit? This? Your seat?
Of course, all this work, we may not have anybody actually show up. So. Am I supposed to be also watching?
We can just talk to each other.
We're live, so yeah.
Well, I'm live.
Hello, world.
I'm always live. Am I supposed to be watching the YouTube channel too?
No order in this live stream. It's complete disorder. All right. Are you on YouTube? Yeah, we're live. We're definitely live. Sure. This one, you want that one? Sure, you can take it. Hey guys, yeah, we're gonna need like 5 more minutes to get organized, but you can watch us try to get organized. No, it'll be quick. We're gonna start probably like as soon as possible. But... Great. So you're getting a glimpse at the Freedman's house. This is the kids' playground. Hi, Mira. And then we get a bunch of people. That person right there is the hot landlady that very, it's quite awkward. Yeah. It's awkward for them, not for me.
Like this morning. Oh, you want that? You want that on the mic? Our landlady comes over to fix the sink or something, and it's like, oh, I saw your boobs this morning, and they were really nice. Well, they're sculptures actually. They're like, so it's in 3 dimensions. It's like you want to. Anyway, that's. Yeah. There's one in the bedroom, and there's a couple downstairs in the garage, and we've kind of put them away because it's a bit awkward to see them all the time, especially when you know who they're of. You know, it's like, I mean, it's one thing to sort of see like yeah, and then another one to go, oh man, that's you. Weird. You want to you put the butterfly in front of my face apparently. Here we go. Here's a. I don't see anybody in the. There's nobody in the chat here. I'm trying to keep. Oh, is it also on? So I need to watch out, Axiom. Facebook to. That's the YouTube link. Hey, Axiom. I have 2 words for you.
What?
Permanent record. I love you, kiddo. All right, I'm going to hand the microphone to somebody else before I embarrass myself.
Too late.
All right, so one of the questions that people often ask us is how what is it expensive here? What are the prices like? So I just want to kind of knock experience with like I've told a few people I'm paying for a 2-bedroom apartment, and it has a kitchen, a balcony, and I'm paying about $230 a month, which is like mind-blowingly cheap. So that's one thing. Anybody have any thoughts on sort of the expenses or the costs of life here?
Well, I just say that this is one of the things I really think is awesome about the place is that you can have a place where anybody can come, whether you're low income kind of person or, a millionaire. Uh, Acapulco has got it. So there's mansions here that are amazing, and honestly, amazing mansions are, relatively cheap in terms of American costs. So I would say, 1,500 to 2,000 a month, you can have a mansion. Or you can go really cheap. I think one of our guys is doing it for less than $100 a month. So, it's crazy the difference. But we're all here. So I'll pass it on.
Yeah, so I have an apartment that's about 3,500 pesos, which I think is like $170 US a month, and I'm pretty close to the beach. It has 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a living room. Uh, I was paying like 600 something for a shared place in Toronto, just a room in a house. So uh, much better here, of course. And food, I think food is cheaper. It's not like dramatically cheaper, but it is cheaper. I think I'm spending about 3,000 pesos a month, which is still pretty damn good. I don't know. Yeah, and transportation around here is really cheap if you don't have a car. Taxi, I don't know, you get almost anywhere for 30 to 50 pesos. The buses are like what 8 pesos, so it's like 70 cents or something. I don't know. But so yeah, it's great. And it's like an average life here. Pretty living in actually more expensive place in Acapulco, like relative to where the locals live. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and luxury is pretty cheap here too, right? Luxury, you can get a great house for a lot less than you can get anywhere else. I mean, the United States or in Canada or Europe, right?
Oh yeah, one thing is the VIP theater for movies here is 140 pesos, and so that's about American price, and you get like a comfy seat. You're sprawled out, and there's like waiters and everything. It's excellent.
It's
like
about
six-
$7.
6, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're living the dream.
I would actually say you're playing it down a little bit, because like you're sitting in a lazy boy recliner that's like half again the size of a first class seat on an airplane, and it's actually hard to sit up straight in those seats. They recline so easily, and you're like laying back, and I saw a guy fall asleep in one time, and oh, it was me. Yeah, shit. And and yeah, you can order food and beer and wine and cocktails like the whole movie. And it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, you can order poop too. Oh, you can't? Did I have that wrong? Well, thanks for squaring that away for me. I appreciate it.
We'll check if there's any questions on Facebook or. All right, let's connect it for a second. Okay, you're gonna start singing.
Well, she's my daughter. Meta, do you want to? Do you want to say what it's like to live here as a little person?
It's awesome.
Testing, testing.
Another question that people ask about a lot. Another question people ask about a lot, or at least sort of some people kind of think about it, is the security question. Do you guys want to address that a little bit, like some of the statistics are basically like, if you look at Wikipedia, or if you look at look up Acapulco safety and stuff, you get some pretty grim statistics, right? But there's a lot of different ways to look at this. Okay. So I think that the main thing, that the way that I look at it, is there's a lot more risks, right? Like right now in the United States, there's a lot of tension, political tension. There's kind of risk of a civil war, and the same in Europe to some degree. I mean, Britain just went through the Brexit, and it's like half and half.
Back in the States, you get pulled over on the way to work, and shit hits the fan, and you're dead.
You get robbed all the time in the United States. So you just don't call it, government fees or taxes or a ticket. So how often does people get robbed in the United States? Very often. But down here, yeah, there's a large police presence in Acapulco because it's for security reasons. But honestly, most of it is just, theater to a large degree. And so it's really not anywhere near as, as I guess would be bad as it looks to an American, because they don't see their police, the average policeman as like a military type person, but in reality, they're a lot more aggressive than they are here. So.
From what I understand, any of the violence or police interaction is if you're selling drugs. I mean, the cartel doesn't like competition. And we have a vehicle, so anytime we've ever had any interaction with police, it's, for traffic violations. The one time I got pulled over, it ended with a hug. I mean, in the U.S., it would never end in a hug. So, here, like we said in the video, you just do the tourist thing for as long as you can, because they don't even speak English and I don't speak Spanish. So it sort of works out for me. You don't wear gold and walk around drunk at 4 o'clock in the morning with all your money hanging out. I mean, like, hello, you're smart, but you don't need to worry about stuff as much as you think.
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, if you want to walk around drunk at 4 o'clock in the morning, you better be wearing black. That's all.
Apparently, the only phrase you need to know when dealing with the cops is "no entiendo, no entiendo."
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Okay, but anyways, yeah. Also, oh yeah. So yeah, I live in a pretty decent area, and I walk at 3 in the morning sometimes. Often, I probably walked at least 50 times at 3 in the morning since being here, and I've never seen anything. I was hanging out with some locals, and they were saying like, we should get a taxi. It's too dark. We shouldn't go. And I've done this like 50 times. Enough gets out.
Looks like there's no active person in the
Probably the one that would get robbed if I were to be robbed, and nothing's ever happened. I've never seen anything dangerous at all. At night, I'm on the beach sometimes at 3 in the morning.
There's no.
I'm sure it depends on which neighborhood you're in. Like, you don't go to like ghetto or anything, but pretty much any of the neighborhoods where the tourists are all pretty good. Even some areas where the locals are. I've been there a few times at odd hours, and it's not bad at all.
I'm a neighbor at Ted. I had pretty much the same experience. I was walking south at 3 and 4 in the morning and had no trouble at all. In fact, the streets are completely empty at that time of day, and I had no trouble ever. Whereas in Puerto Escondido, the same thing happened when I was walking back along the beach. No interaction at all, except when the police came and asked me about it. And and that was a little bit upsetting. Nothing bad happened, except that they actually bothered me. But here in Acapulco, I have had no experiences like that. But I enjoy it. Anyone else?
Well, I was just going to say, you mentioned the ghetto. I had the opportunity. I got on the wrong bus one time, me and Candace actually, and went to the other side of Acapulco, which is the dangerous side. And honestly, I thought the people were very nice. We were completely out of our element. This was probably 2 or 3 weeks into being in Acapulco, right after Anarchapulco was over. And we went into like one of the worst neighborhoods in Acapulco, and people were very friendly. They obviously realized that we were, not where we were supposed to be, but but even in that circumstance, they were very helpful. They asked if we wanted lunch or wanted water, newspaper, anything like that. Why because we were waiting on a bus to get back over here, and people were very friendly. So even in the worst areas, I think people have are misconstrued about the majority of people are still very, very nice here.
Cool. Um, yeah, so if you have any questions, just send them somewhere on. Did you want to say something? Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions, just put them on the YouTube chat, the YouTube channel comments. Hold on a second, and or Facebook on the Facebook event page. In the meanwhile, Nate, Axiom is going to say something. You're going to say something?
We have a Wii U and an Xbox One.
I'm so glad you shared that with everyone.
I don't know if they heard it, but.
So the question just came in. Do you feel there is a limitation to meeting new people? Certainly not new expats. Like pretty much anybody that's coming to town lets us know in advance, and I'd like to think that we've given everyone a warm welcome that arrives here. We all arrived at slightly different times, so we could all speak to each other about how we felt welcomed by the rest of the community. And meeting locals, it varies from person to person. I think it depends on like how much people are trying to integrate into the local community, the depth of your knowledge of Spanish, who you meet that you share a language with. That's made a big difference. But certainly for me, I have not found myself to be isolated from the local community. And anyone that's coming in from Canada or the U.S. or anywhere else, that they've always been great. We've had fabulous interaction and integration with people that come in.
Do you want to speak, Nathan, about the common thread that we've noticed that everyone doesn't like government?
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly there's a lot of people that come here with a specific kind of bent. Oh, yeah, yeah. So here's a good example. We're moving in a couple of weeks, and the landlord at our new place that we're moving to, we discussed like how should we pay your rent, and he said, well, could you pay in cash? And I said, well, it'd be a lot easier for me to do a bank transfer. And he goes, yeah, but if you do a bank transfer, then the government will know, and then I have to pay taxes. Would you mind giving me cash? so I said, okay, yeah, it's fine. I can't think of a better reason to give you cash than, the government doesn't know and you don't pay tax. How could I argue with that reason? So it's quite common here, and obviously I'm a big fan of that particular take on it. So.
Yeah, so going back to the welcoming question, I think, essentially, I guess most people go through the TDV Acapulco site, and that's typically how we get connected with people coming. I know, like, for example, Erica is a good one where she came this past Anarchapulco, and she let us know on Facebook that she was coming, and what her situation was, and we all kind of chimed in and said, hello, and we're here to help you in any way you can, whatever. And it was, I don't know, do you want to speak to that?
So, um, absolutely, the TDV Acapulco group and Anarchapulco group showed so much generosity. Anyone that has a question, what about, how do you, fill in the blank, people are so happy to pitch in, their experience, and so there's help to be had, so get it. And I wanted to just speak to, now having been here for 4 months, I think the question was, what is it like to get, is it hard to, get new relationships? And so in 4 months' time with limited language, I would say that in the couple of instances where friendships have been made, it came out of a natural function out of your life. So in my case, there's a nightclub I like. I like to dance. So it was a natural function that I would make friends like in that arena. And now like a landlady. So I mean, so the same way that you make friends anywhere, it's like, what are you doing in your day? How are you spending your time in your life? That's where you could expect to find friendships, language barrier aside. But this is such a great, take advantage of the groups on Facebook, ask away. I was shocked at like how much help and love and care was there from then until now, 4 months later. 4 months later, right? Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Why don't I go? I wanted to say something. I don't know how to. Just the biggest point is
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Is it better now? Audio's back. Audio's back. Good. You're on camera. Okay. Audio's back. This is Donald Trump. Huge. It's huge.
Man, what about that thing you saw on Facebook with Trump pooping?
Trump pooping, apparently. Great. Great. He's just.
There were some questions I gotta go back and get.
Oh wait, yeah. One question that was asked.
No, we nobody heard. Can we?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
The Donald Trump just pooping out of his mouth. What's that?
Like everything you said before.
Oh, about what?
We were talking about
Oh.
people welcome.
Oh, okay. So let's see if I can say this again. So just what I want to focus on is use the community. We're here for a reason. We're living pretty close to everybody. A lot of us have already gone down and dealt with stuff and fallen down and gotten back up. And, we're like-minded people living near each other. And we don't have to spend 6 months going through the bullshit of getting to know each other in our views. We pretty much have already gotten there. So just step up and start using the community. We're here for a reason. Vote for me!
Boom! There you have it, folks.
So I've been traveling for 4 years and spending, 4 to 6 months in a variety of different countries. And, I land in a city and try to get with the community. And this was a great community to come land in. It was so awesome. The first week, it was like met up with a fella who likes to debate, and I spent like a week debating. It was so awesome because I've been shutting my mouth and keeping my opinions to myself for years, and it was awesome to be able to just get that out of my system. And you meet nice people, and you're bound to find somebody that you'll click with, that you get along with, and it's really nice. So definitely take advantage of the community. They're friendly, and they're very helpful, no matter your personality or your style or whatever. So, okay.
Cool. So somebody asked, I guess they missed the beginning, about living standards or expenses. I was saying that I have a 2-bedroom apartment and I pay as kitchen, living room, balcony, and I pay like $230 a month. Just like amazing. In Toronto you pay like $500 and you get a room. And Kevin has some similar situation. I think a lot of people here have something like that, or some people here. And then if you want to go luxury, like it's not that much more expensive.
The point is you can get whatever level of luxury you want here, I think, and for a fraction of the price that you'd pay in the United States or Canada or Europe, anywhere.
Yeah, we have somebody in our community that spends $80 a month. I've never been to his place, but there's a chicken. So you've got someone, you're never alone. But yeah, you can, $80 a month up to, $3,000, $4,000. It depends on what your budget is. But from my experience, there was never like a middle ground. You either had to do like dirt poor, and then or you just looked at this great house that you couldn't afford, and you never could find exactly where you can fit. And every house is different here. The architecture is unbelievably different. And if you're thinking about coming here, you're not going to be able to pick a place out online. There's no Craigslist. There's no Realtor.net, Acapulco. Nobody's gotten that far ahead here. So you got to come here, look at the places, and you'll find something. But get here before November, because things get busy around here and prices do go up. So get your shit and get here.
Yeah.
Well, there was a different question. So another question was, what do we think Acapulco can and should look like 5 to 10 years from now? I would say that my expectation is that it's not going to be substantially different from how it is today. There is a big state push to sort of bring back Acapulco. There's a new governor for the state of Guerrero that Acapulco's in, and they're supposed to be putting a lot of money into making it better. Frankly, I don't think this city is going to get substantially improved until there's a drastic reduction in the U.S. drug war, which is probably not going to happen as long as there's still a 50-state union. But if that changes, I will be the first person to celebrate. But basically, as long as the U.S. is still fighting the drug war, Acapulco is probably going to be how it is now. If and when that ever ends, then this place could explode. And I know, like Jeff Berwick is trying to convince the governor of Guerrero to turn Acapulco into like a free trade zone, sort of like parts of Singapore or Dubai, where he's like, everything's legal and there's no taxes. And he goes, if you do that, this place will explode in the next, 4 years. And he's right, that would be true. But whether that will ever happen, I have no idea. But in the meantime, we have so much great stuff here. I mean, the community here is fantastic, and there's wonderful beaches, and there's so much to see, and there's all these things going on all the time. And of course, we have the conference, the Anarchapulco conference as well. So I don't think it needs to change to be a place where you can be happy. That's step one, yeah. I mean, it's a great place to start getting out of whatever empire you happen to be in today. But additionally, I think you could be here long term and be very happy with it.
Well, I was going to just say,
by explode, he means explode with happiness and joy. Just to be clear.
well, I was just going to say, there is like this idea that you buy low and sell high, and to a certain extent, Acapulco is on the low side of things right at the moment as far as the propaganda and television presentation of Acapulco, I guess, to a certain degree. But there are things that are going on here that are improving the lives, and honestly, I think as more people come here, there's also more opportunities to interact with the local community and build all kinds of things. I mean, you don't have to be just even being a little entrepreneur. I don't know if anybody saw that Corbett report on like do-it-yourself making things out of plastic bottles. But essentially, there's a way that you can put about $1,000 into 4 machines that you can recycle plastic into, like, toys and stuff like that. So someone that was an entrepreneur that had $1,000, you could essentially set up a business like that, and who knows how far that could go. But the labor force is here. There's a lot of people willing to work. The work ethic in Mexico is amazing. And so you can get people to do all kinds of things for a very little amount of money. And so anybody that's an entrepreneur anywhere else in the world would just be thrilled to have the Mexican workforce, I think. So those are all opportunities here that could be exploited. And being that it's in the situation it is, it's kind of a diamond in the rough at the moment, So, and then, we went on a boat trip just the other day. You look around Acapulco, it's amazing all the different places there are here. It's there's like a rocky coast, there's a long beach, there's in town, there's all kinds of different things. It's like a concoction of a lot of different cities. It's not anything in particular. I mean, there's just a little bit of everything, I think, which makes it also very unique. So it'll appeal to a lot of different people, I think.
I was going to say something and I forgot, so I'm just going to. I don't know. Is there a question? Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Nothing to say here. All right.
A couple of my friends had mentioned, I want to move here, but I don't know how to make money or find a job.
The next question.
I read your mind.
The next question. What do you guys do for a living?
Okay. I'll let you talk.
Right. So I want to move there, but I don't know what to do for a job. What do you do for a job? I'm a software engineer. I have the good fortune that everything I do goes over the internet, and so I could do what I do from anywhere in the world, and that's really nice. One thing about Mexico in particular is that I can do it in the same time zone as my customer. And that actually turned out to be just a completely shift. So one of the great benefits of Mexico as a landing place is that you're still in the same time zone as you are in the U.S. or roughly close to it, and that makes it a lot easier to be able to do online commerce with people back in the U.S.
Yeah, I'll just say, primarily my thing is online and, essentially consulting for different businesses and that type of thing, as well as other things. But, my interest is being an entrepreneur and, wherever you go, there's always an opportunity. And I think this place has a great deal of opportunity with the workforce, with technology. I think somebody said it's like living in the 1970s to some degree in Acapulco. There's a lot of things that if people can remember back to the 70s, I can.
Living in the 1970s, but with 100 megabit internet access.
Exactly. So you've got this technology integration into a community that really isn't really up to speed with all that. So all the things, all the advances that you've seen, if you're in the United States or Western Europe, all those things that you've seen happen over the past 40 or 50 years are things that are opportunities for an entrepreneur to exploit here. And, I think we're just scratching the surface. And, with the kind of people that we've attracted here, which are highly intelligent people, I think the opportunity is great for us to make a lot of impact in the community.
What do you guys do?
For me, it's a combination of savings, and I'm doing a few online ventures that I'm growing now. So I think it's a. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, yeah.
That is a lollipop.
So that's one thing I like about Acapulco and Mexico in general, that since everything's so cheap, the amount of money you have to make to succeed is far lower. So it's a great place to start something new, and that's what I'm doing.
I live on a fixed income as a retired person, and so I don't do anything for income yet, although it's on my agenda. But when I was in the States, I was living from month to month, and since I got here, it's so much cheaper that I have the equivalent of about three times as much as I had before. And so I don't worry about spending money here. I get what I want when I want, and I still have plenty left over. And that's such an improvement over what I had in the States. It's unbelievable. And very enjoyable.
So when I first came down to South America, when I first left Canada, I actually brought my job with me and then got laid off about a month and a half later. So I had to kind of scramble and do something different. So I actually was started out doing transcription and low-end secretarial work, but freelancing on the internet. And that, over the last 4 years, it's kind of morphed into being a project manager for a software development company. But, I mean, when it started, it was just doing some typing and some Word docs. It was really quite easy, and there's so much online opportunity. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I moved here and I literally for a year I just lived on writing Bitcoin articles, like $25 a piece, $30 a piece, few 2 or 3 a week, 4 a week, and you can live on that. And I've been working online since I got here, and I think a good chunk of us do the same thing. I don't think I know anybody here that works and makes money in Acapulco or in Mexico, except our Mexican friends, right? But any of the expats, I don't think I know any of them. Do you want to say something about that?
Chocolate.
Chocolate's good.
Chocolate.
I know. Well, my story is.
It's funny because you look like chocolate.
Well, thank you. Well, gracias. Estoy chocolate. My story is like, did I just say I am chocolate? I hope so. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Actually, you said you were a donut.
I'm a brownie, clearly. I'm a brownie. All right. So what do I do for a living? I make bad jokes in Spanish. No. So, but honestly, like Thora,
Well, in the States, I was unhappily employed in corporate America, and that's when I started trying to be a digital nomad, right there in Chicago. I wanted to bust out of a cubicle, and I wanted to work in yoga pants at my house and not have to deal with idiotic meetings. And I experienced that reality right there in the States, and then what do you know? You can do that wherever. So I'm continuing to do that. So anybody who wants to go, I'm just letting you know, a transition thing could be get your digital skills together now, and then come here and just continue that. That's something that many of us are doing. That's what I'm doing.
Juan, you said you didn't know anyone who was making a living here, like off of a local venture. Well, not making a living yet, but we do have someone, or actually several someones in the community cooperating to put together a wireless ISP. And that is expected to become a money-making venture and probably quite lucrative within the next probably a year before it really takes off. But we're building out infrastructure for that, and we're very hopeful that that's going to become a very successful venture. There's another question that was asked in the chat, and by somebody who was very courteous. I don't know if you want to talk about this, and maybe we shouldn't do this in public, but how do you handle banking? Which is a great question. This is like a fantastic question. So for me, I get paid in Bitcoin. So our banking situation is quite fortunate and convenient because I can liquidate Bitcoin back into a U.S. bank account, of course, or I can go to one of the Mexican exchanges here. I pay my rent in Bitcoin. I have an arrangement with my landlord to be able to do that. And actually, I can also pay some of my utilities in Bitcoin, but that's kind of lucky that I was able to set that up. There's a lot of things you can do. If you can deal with cryptocurrencies, there's a lot of flexibility now. So there's something called an eCoin card that you can get that lets you get a prepaid debit card that can be funded via Bitcoin, and that's a hugely convenient way to do it. There are very similar banking mechanisms that allow you to do things based in gold as well. We had some companies at Anarchapulco that do that. So those are some options for you. But the very, very simple answer is if you are worried about, like, how am I going to get money while I'm living in Mexico, and you have a U.S. or Canadian bank account, an ATM card. Like, you can draw on any U.S. or Canadian bank with an ATM card from pretty much any ATM in Mexico. So it's whatever you're doing for banking now, you're managing your finances. I'm guessing you probably don't go down to your local branch and talk to the branch manager every week or something like that. You probably use an ATM. You could just keep doing that. You can do online banking, and you can use automated tellers to get cash, and you can pay for things in cash. And you can use your debit card at pretty much any place you go. I mean, there's some restaurants and stuff, they're like cash only, so you have to go to an ATM for that. But for the most part, there's nothing special you have to do. And coupled with that question also was, what's your tax situation? Yeah, I'm not paying any. Just like, fuck that. And I'm very unabashed about that because, like, I just, yeah, I'm done funding to imprison and murder brown people. So.
Also, you can open up a bank account here. Juan helped me open up an account. It has a very small amount that you can have in the account, but it does give you some movement from your U.S. or Canada account into a Mexican bank. So you can sort of divide up where your money is, and you can do that at different banks. You could have a different bank card for different banks here in Mexico. But yeah, like what was said before, you could just go to an ATM. We're not in like the 1900s where we don't have access to ATMs and banks. That all exists here, so stop making excuses.
Quick heads up, if the mic and the video go down, it's because my phone died, but we'll just switch to another camera. You want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin? Because there's a lot of ways to move money here. The banking system in Mexico is very, there's a lot of competition and a lot of different services that are very cool and innovative that you just don't see in Canada or the United States. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
I'll just talk about the way I do it. I usually buy Bitcoins in an exchange in Canada, and then I sell them here because I have an account on local Bitcoins. And the Mexican system is pretty interesting because someone can go to OXXO, which is one of the most popular local convenience stores, and there's several others that also work. They can go that just with your bank account number and make a deposit right into your bank account. So I've been selling, basically I'll buy the Bitcoins with my money from Canada, and then I sell the Bitcoins here. And that's been my way for transferring money here. And that has a side benefit of the fact that for some reason the Bitcoin price here is much higher than in Canada, so I kind of avoid banking fees in that process. But yeah, so that's one option that I'll add.
Yeah, and there's a massive Bitcoin exchange here. It's called Bitso, and it's run by a few friends of ours. And you can just connect it to a bank account, and you don't even have to. Well, I guess you have to get an account, so in a bank, so you have to get verified that way. But you can get in there and just sell Bitcoin and move it to your bank account here. You can get Mexican bank accounts up to 14,000 Mexican pesos a month is one, and that's about maybe $1,000 depending on the day. And then you can get another one that's a little bit more complicated, but you can still do it. And you can get 40,000 a month, which is what, $2,000 a month. So that's enough to live here like a king. So no thoughts on that? All right.
By the way, we need to go set up that 40,000
Yeah.
we gotta go do that 40,000 count. What is it like? What is it like, bro love? What is this? That's a bro kiss. That's so weird, dude. So no, I'm watching the chat just to see. So another question was, who was the first to Acapulco? And I'm pretty sure the first person in the room in Acapulco was you, right?
That was Kevin and I.
All right, so it was you and Kevin, and then Kevin went back to Canada for a while and then came back. And I think Lisa and I are the next in the room.
Maybe Michael.
Oh, no, yeah, you were here first. Yeah, that's right. Because you came from Acapulco and stayed. All right, so it was Juan, Kevin, Michael, us, and then Stephen and Thora and Erica. But there's, there's other people that aren't on the video. Jeff Berwick was here, like 6 years before any of us. So, another question was, is there no fear of Mexican government? Anybody else is welcome to chime in. My interaction with the Mexican government is if I'm going in or out of Mexico, then there's immigration I may encounter. But that's just like check my passport and stamp my tourist card. And then otherwise it's traffic cops. And that's it. That's my only interaction with the Mexican government. There's no like tax authority or anything. I'm renting a property, so it's not like I've had to go through the process of buying something where I have to get all kinds of paper certification. If you only your tourist visa is good for 180 days. If you leave for I think 2 or 3 days, I think it's 72 hours, 73 days. So if you leave for 3 days and then come back in, that renews your tourist visa of another 180 days. It turns out in the reality there's some flexibility on that as well. So you don't have to do that necessarily, but if you want to be safe, that's the exact way to do it, and then you have absolutely no interaction or association with the Mexican government in any material way. Anybody else want to chime in about their experiences with government?
Quickly, just about perception, that being here, I have certainly seen more protecting presence, like locally, regionally, nationally. And despite the fact that there's fatigues and, they're riding in open-air trucks with machine guns, I still feel less threatened. I still feel more at ease than I did in the States, where it might be more hidden, there might be more undercover stuff, or the blue and white with the sirens. But even though they're not as thick. It's just, personally, I don't feel intimidating, and I haven't chosen to behave any differently. I do the things that I want to do, and I do them when I want to do them, and I'm not to say in terms of like being reckless or careless or foolish, but I'm here as a single person, and I feel an extraordinary amount of freedom. I'm aware of the headlines, but I don't feel danger. I feel very comfortable, more comfort here than I did where I left.
All right. So I think we're going to take a quick sort of 2-minute break. The live feed will stay on. How are people feeling?
Well, there's one other, I think, kind of juicy question. So one other question was, what's the biggest thing you miss about your home country?
What's the biggest thing you want to know?
What do you? Yeah. Okay, Meta. Tell us what do you miss, Meta? What's the biggest thing you miss?
My friends.
Your friends. Oh.
What's the biggest thing I wanted? Number fun.
Nothing but fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with vintage clothing shops, but there's none here. Cheese nips. Cheese nips. Cheese nips. She misses cheese nips.
Also cheese nips.
That's awesome.
I said shipping.
Shipping. Yeah, the shipping. Yeah, shipping stuff from the States to Mexico is difficult, but there's ways around it. There's ways around the shipping internationally. Yeah, we have a known smuggler.
Canadians will appreciate this, but I miss going to Tim Hortons and getting a coffee and a donut.
No Timmy's in Mexico.
I've had a little bit of trouble getting mail and packages sent here. It takes like 2 months instead of a week. And I'm still waiting for a letter that was sent in mid-March, so that's like 3 months plus. And I don't know when it's going to get here.
Yeah, there's a serious racket in the.
Actually miss is just family and friends. So I've missed a wedding. I'm going to miss the birth of a grandchild, and there's just no avoiding that. I mean, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be here, and they're not. So there's not much I can do about that. But I wish they were all here instead of me being back there.
So two things. One, I miss my dad, and the other is I miss 11 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. sunshine. 'Cause I'm from Canada, so.
Yeah, the sun is up here like at 7, it's being hot immediately. But well, sort of. It gets hot, definitely. 2, 3 p.m. You don't want to be outside because it's like hot.
Somebody in the chat said, so there's an opportunity. Someone in the chat says, there's an opportunity for someone to be the first Mexican Tim Hortons franchise. Right on, man. So, I'm trying to think of what I miss most. I can't think of anything.
Like family, immediate, like my brother and his wife, 2 kids, but that's really it.
Yeah, I miss your brother.
Yeah. No, there's nothing. I mean, here you even have vegan restaurants. You can get organic fruits and vegetables. You can get organic coffee. You can get organic water. I don't understand.
I know something I actually miss. I miss being able to like walk into a restaurant and understand everything that I read and everything that everyone says. What's funny is I went to it's fine. It's okay, sweetie. I went to Europe recently, and I would go to places and not understand what anyone was saying because they were speaking German or French, and that just felt at home to me. And then later, I passed through the UK on the way home, and everyone was speaking English, and I was like, "Oh, this is just weird. I understand what all these people are saying. This is so bizarre. I didn't even know how to react to that." Anyway, next question in the chat is, how is the healthcare situation? So I don't think everyone here has had experience with doctors yet. From the ones who from the ones that have, can you shut off the microphone on that or the audio? All right, thank you. For those that have, my understanding is that doctors and dentists has a catalog of them, and you pay in cash, and it is so much less expensive. So you can get like good dental work done for $20-$30 for some procedures. Yeah, like you can get an extraction for $40 or $50 US, and it's very easy. Anybody else?
Hold this for a second. No? Okay. Yeah. Battery's probably dead, so we're just gonna switch. You just type it in there. I'm just gonna switch cameras.
Do you need more room over there since the kids have brought more toys over? I've got room. You like your babies?
They will come with her. Wow, I didn't see that coming.
I like this.
They're fluffy, aren't they? Look at this one.
Okay, Michael.
You have to like these ones?
Mic test, work.
Who's got that
Can you guys hear me?
They sell Dunkin' Donuts here from Mexico City. Krispy Kreme, sorry. But yeah.
Can they hear us? Can they hear us?
Yeah, bakery station.
There's video coming through.
Audio coming through? Audio working? I'm on one video sticking my tongue trying to fix the audio. Yeah, they work. Sweet. Nice.
What's your experience in healthcare and medicine?
Yeah, I haven't had any, but, anybody else want to address healthcare issues?
We had a friend that had a medical emergency and had to go to the hospital. And they pretty much said they were able to haggle with the doctor on how much they were going to be able to pay. And when she set a price up, then you pay it and they release you. Now, if you can't pay it, they'll keep you in the hospital. So I don't know.
You're saying a lot of what you just said.
But you can keep going to the hospital that has the right price for your procedure. So that's a little different than the new.
You can genuinely shop.
You can shop for your doctor. Yeah.
No, I guess I'd say that you can go, you can find like a simple checkup or something like that from the doctor. You can essentially get for free if you go to a pharmacy, and they'll essentially recommend, like if you need penicillin or something typical, more than likely you could go to a local pharmacy and they'll have a doctor on staff that will diagnose you and give you the prescription, and that'll be done for free. So essentially, that's pretty awesome. So it goes from that to to a really nice hospital as well. There's various costs.
Adios. Annoying, so.
We should make sure somebody brings up going to the pharmacy and getting a lot of the drugs that you need a doctor for here. Not the names of them.
Doctor for in the States.
Yeah, you need a prescription for. You can just walk into your local pharmacy and get it.
Well, even if you have a doctor, my doctor charged me with mine. And it costs me $4.
Mic test, can you hear me? It's a little bit better now.
Or was it like a
Let's get that on camera.
Yeah, we need a minute. So can you type in that we're doing mic audio test right now? Hello, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Is that better? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I want to make sure.
3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
Can I
1,
do
2,
a
3.
quick?
What do you want to do?
I wanted to.
like you'd never do that. We all have had meltdowns.
Oh, I guess.
Pete, how long is this interview going to take? It's an hour.
I think we're at an hour already. Yeah, it's done.
I'll take a quick vote. I was thinking about ordering pizza, but
No,
I've got dates.
I think we're kind of.
Go down and eat.
We could keep going, but I don't know if the audio is working. Nobody's responding, so
But they're still laughing.
they're still laughing at Axiom's show. That was good. He did like a little Minecraft battle with like two monsters. It's hilarious.
I really want to see that.
Is this recorded somewhere? Or is this just
It's gonna be live. Well, it's gonna be recorded on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's YouTube automatically records it.
So you can just pull
I
it.
need to do
So
that.
then you,
I'm
yeah,
fighting
so
dinosaurs.
forever, all of our artwork performances will be
Forever and ever, yeah.
until the next time.
Okay, you're fine. Good.
Oh, Nora said an important point about dentists.
All right, so healthcare. Back on
So
healthcare.
they're saying that the audio is working, but they think it's coming from the camera,
Yeah.
not the mic. So just make sure you hold the camera close, and then we'll be able to hear.
So use the camera as like
Don't unplug it, just hold the camera close.
So-
Pretend the mic is working.
So I had to go to the doctor, or I had to get I have bad teeth, so I knew exactly what I needed. Same thing I've had in Canada. So I took my bottle from Canada. I went into the pharmacy. They said, you need a prescription. You go see the doctor. 5 minutes later, showed her the bottle. She looks it up, gets the equivalent, writes me out a prescription, charges me $0. I go to the till at the front to get me the pills, and it was $4. So it cost me,
What would it have been in Canada?
well, I don't know what the doctor's appointment would have cost, but he probably would have made $200-300 for his visit. And the drug in Canada is actually not that expensive. Drugs in Canada aren't that bad. It would have been $12 in Canada. But this was, that's super easy.
How long would it have taken?
Yeah. You would have forgotten.
The time for what it was, because in Canada, I would have gone to a dentist and then to my pharmacy, and I would have been able to get an appointment within an hour because it's a dental appointment, and it worked just as fine being a doctor's appointment. So it was great, simple, to the point.
Awesome. And it was really cheap. Like the dental stuff was really cheap, right?
Oh yeah, well, I also had some dental work done at a dentist, and he wasn't a cheap dentist, but he wasn't nearly as expensive as in Canada. I had to get a whole bunch of teeth repaired. I didn't get the work completely redone, and it probably would have been, I would have had to have it all redone in Canada at probably $6 grand, plus probably $7 grand. And he was able to repair it and get me going for $1,000. So that's way better. And he had a state-of-the-art, brand new dental office with all the bells and whistles and sanitary, and had dental assistants. And it was great. It was wonderful. And he spoke English.
Yeah, it wasn't like a hammer and a chisel, and some weed.
Weed is not low tech, for the record.
Okay.
Just kidding. I was just gonna say about in terms of feeling empowered, like there's a medical condition that I have been ignoring for a long time because I thought I couldn't afford it. And now, based on what I've been hearing and learning in a new context, I'm ready to face it. So, and I know lots of people who even, plan on taking like medical vacations. So it's something, something to consider that you could get possibly equivalent care, maybe even better care for a fraction of the price. So those things that you've been ignoring, hey, you can get them taken care of now, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that it's hard to compete with Obamacare, it's kind of hilarious. Like Obamacare kind of sucks. And I'm not even American, but I hear it's terrible.
When does the government ever do anything right? Why would we expect healthcare to be better?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and, for a typical working person paying what they pay for medical insurance these days, you're probably talking $800 to $1,000 a month for medical insurance in the United States now. And, that that here, that's essentially all savings. That if you put that away and ever had to do something major here, that would probably take care of everything you ever needed for anything. Probably was 1 year savings. So it just doesn't. And there are so many other things that are available, like the ayahuasca treatments and stuff like that that are available here. You know, and there are all kinds of other alternatives. I know of stem cell replacement type stuff and so forth. So there's a lot of other medical procedures that are available here in Mexico that are not even legal. So the alternatives to the standard medical practices are some amazing things.
So,
any other questions?
well, yeah, there's two other questions. Hey, do you guys get on Netflix shows without VPN? That just popped in. No, actually, I have a U.S. Netflix account still. I think we get most of the stuff. But what's funny is sometimes we get U.S. shows and it forces Spanish subtitles, which is good for learning Spanish, but kind of annoying if you're used to watching. So like Modern Family always has Spanish subtitles, whether you want it or not. One question is, I assume it is planned to eventually buy some off-grid style community and maybe near a major city. How many people are you looking to have on board before you commit to such a thing? I think some of us have talked about that, and it sort of like sounded like an exciting, grandiose plan when we first started. And now that we're here and we're sort of settled in, there's been a lot less talk about it. So that sounds like a thing you want to do before you move here, and then you move here, and it's like, well, yeah, maybe I don't really need that. I mean, it comes up from time to time.
It needs to be a compound.
We don't need to be
you don't need to be in a
we don't need. We're not a cult.
We're not a cult.
When we're done with this interview, though, I do have some Kool-Aid for everybody.
Oh yeah.
And I have like 20 posters of Jack Warwick in the back.
Oh yeah, we'll blast them around the room.
Wow. I'll have the candles, so we're good.
Anarchapulco 24/7.
Yeah.
Point out that that's not we're not opposed to any of that.
That's what I was gonna say.
Maybe the Jack Warwick posters.
No, I've spoken to a lot of people individually about the idea that this is our home base for now. But I know I would love to get some land and to grow my own food and have solar panels and live without the connection of the government in any way possible. And living here in Acapulco, solar panels seems like, hello, 18 hours of sunshine, it feels like. But now that we are living here, like Nathan said, other than the solar panel stuff, I have an organic farmer, and I know that when I buy stuff from this organic farmer, he pays for his family's stuff. So like, okay. So I see where my money goes, and it goes to a family that has nothing. So yeah, in the future, that's something we're looking at. We want to do a lot of traveling, go down to Honduras, Nicaragua, and Belize, and
Yeah, put the mic down.
But this is plan A. This is step one. All the propaganda that we're swallowing with healthcare, with our banking systems, it's all propaganda that we think we already understand, but we don't. We just need to realize that and that it's scamming us. And
That's gonna be the name of the show. Vote for Lisa. Vote for Lisa.
One more question. Everybody is cool. I'd like to wrap.
Wrap it up. Do it. Do a wrap. You gotta do a wrap now. Yes.
Oh, we just lost. Sorry. You want me to rap? I'm even worse than Jeff Steele. The question was how long you prepped for an Acapulco. And as Chief Adder, I will tell you that we just launched a new website, and sales start on July 4th. Yes, the pre-sales tickets start on July 4th. And if you go to anarchapulco.com, you'll see the lineup that we've already got for this year. And I will tell you this, if you love freedom, and you go and look at that list of people that are going to be speaking, and you don't want to come to Acapulco, you're fucking retarded. I'm sorry, but it's just true.
Wow.
I mean, Marvin Rose, Roger Veer, Dana Martin, Milo Yiannopoulos, Jeff Tucker, yes, Sherlyn Luxon. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I mean, the line of Anna Kokesh, Ben Garner, Max Egan, Lauren Southern, Lauren Rumpler. Actually, we have 3 different Laurens.
Sucks.
Even remotely
Yeah.
interested in go to the website, check out the list, and if you're not ready to immediately drop and get your tickets during the early bird cycle, then you're just a fool. Because it's going to be the best time ever.
And you don't need as much money as you think.
Yeah,
you're plane to the voter and
Lisa says you don't need as much money as you think. Listen, if money is the barrier, reach out to me. We'll figure something out. We had some people that struggled to be able to make it last year, and we came up with ways to be able to fund them to attend. So I'm happy to do it again this year.
I came on an absolute bare bones budget.
Hang on. Let's let Thor say this.
When I first ran across Jeff Berger, it was over a year ago. I didn't have enough time. It was like 2 weeks before the conference. But then I wanted to come back this year, and I planned for it. I travel, and I have my budget that I go from place to place. I timed it so it was a month before in Acapulco, and instead of paying my rent in the country I was in before, I pay my rent here. And by the way, it's cheaper to rent an apartment for a whole month than 2 days in a hotel. You do not need to rent a hotel. You get a hotel for 1 night and get yourself an apartment. Even if you're there for 4 or 5 days, it's cheaper than a hotel.
And if a hotel was out of the question, then there are people here who would put you up for a day or 2 in their own home.
After blood chest, fingerprints.
Yeah, you can get a hammock and just sleep in the beach though. If you want.
Sure, I was just going to say that the time around Anarchapulco is also a great time in Acapulco. Obviously, if you're from the northern hemisphere, it's winter time. Here, it's the weather's beautiful, probably
88 every night.
11 and a half months out of the year. So, but in particular, February is a great time to be here. But it's also a great time that you see a lot more people here. People come in early, probably even before December, and up until March, you'll see a lot more people here. And the group of people that come are from all over the world. So we, last year it was the Swedish contingent. Was amazing. The Swedish invasion. So it was about 10 or 12 people here from Sweden, and they were awesome people. And so it was an experience to learn all those people. But in the time that we've been here for a year or so, I've met people from practically every part of the planet. So it's if you can't just move down here and say the hell with the rest of it, you can come down for a month or so, or a couple months, and if there was ever an opportunity to do that, that's the time. It's the time.
The communities at its fullest is the best time to come down because there's so many resources here in our community that you'd be very surprised. Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Me and the purple horse. If you don't have it all figured out, please don't let that be a reason not to come. I came on a one-way ticket. I had less figured out than I had figured out. And then 4 months later, things are startlingly clear. So please don't be deterred by that. I know that that's very counterintuitive, but a lot of times when you want something different, when you are ready, to jump, I mean, get a net as best you can, but like, we got to go out with bumps and bruises. That was the point of incarnating. So please don't be afraid. Please don't be. If I could help, you can hit up Nathan if you got the doubt problems or the fear problems, because I have a heart to help that way.
And I'm good with kids.
Woo! See?
And I can help you set up Bitcoin while we're making pictures. Wanna exit the show? Did you want to do a little show?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's.
Bye. We have amigos. Bye.
We have amoebas.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank you.
Peace, love, anarchy.
What a great note to end on. Wait, no, not yet. Keep going. Oh, wait for it. Wait for it. Now it's done. Sorry, but.
I'll join you, Dora.
It's gonna happen. No.
Everybody who's in the chat says that was a lot of fun. And